Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this aspect of the class. It's also one of the most important part of the whole session. It's called trying to build a portfolio generally, right? And portfolio basically is all about um, having a place where we have collection of your works generally. So that is where people can easily go check you out in terms of your skill set. Not only about you talking about it, but of course, they want to see what you've been able to do in terms of um, can you really work with all these tools that you claim you know and you can work with. So I think this is very, very important, and that's why it's very, very important. So we're going to start with the importance of a portfolio as a data analyst. So maybe I should start with some definitions and we'll just try and work about it. It's going to be more of a practical, but I think it's important. We also talk about the theoretical aspect of it also. Very, very important. So I'm going to write some headings here so you can also have some jottings from your hand and we see how it goes, right? So we're talking about
Yeah.
portfolio. So it's talking about portfolio. So what do you mean by portfolio itself? Portfolio generally is a collection of projects, right? Selection of some projects or real world data that showcase your ability to clean, analyze, and interpret data. It's quite different from resume. Resume show your skill sets, list your skill sets, right? Oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I've done this, I've done that, right? But portfolio is just like a practical way of telling people that what you claim you can do in your resume, these are the examples, these are the things you've been able to achieve based on this. So portfolio really tell people, show people your ability to clean, analyze, and interpret data. And a portfolio prove that you've got those skill sets. The skill set that you claim to have in your CV, portfolio is that thing that really help you do that. And the question is, what is the tool? What are those tools that we need to like understand? Yeah, we've talked about portfolios, right? Then I think during our definition, we also talk about CV, which is a resume. We should now know the difference between a portfolio and a CV, right? Aha, please, let's take note of that. So the question now is, how do we build our portfolio? How do we build our portfolio? What are those things we need to build in our portfolio? So one of the most important and the most popular way of building our portfolio is to use GitHub. And that's why we are on the GitHub website. And that is what is showing on your screen right now. The question is not going to be why GitHub? Why GitHub? So GitHub is a widely recognized, and it is an industry standard used by recruiters or hiring managers. So most hiring managers are used to GitHub. So we've got some other repository accounts. We have Bitbucket. We have one called Bitbucket. We have so many of them, right? But the most popular and the industry standard one that is being recognized by the recruiters or the hiring managers is GitHub. And when we know these are the two hiring manager uses, right? And they look forward to using. So why not use that same tool? And that's why we are using it. Another one is it is transparent, right? Why do we really need to use it? One, it is because it's popular and hiring managers and recruiters uses it. The second point is it is transparent, right? So employers can see not only your final result, but they can also see your workflow, right? They can see your workflow, and that's why it is transparent. So they can see what you've done to making sure that you got those dashboard that you are claiming to design yourself. Imagine if you upload your Excel sheet and your GitHub. You know, in the Excel workbook, we have your raw data, you have your analysis, you have your EDA before you now have your dashboard, right? They will see that process, these processes, they will see it, and even some people can even download your file, the workbook itself, and try and as much as possible to see what rules you've been able to do. You know, you will want to write functions. There will be so many formulas that you are going to use. You would also want to use Power Query Editor to clean and transform your data. We will use a pivot table to do your analysis. You know, those things will be there. It's not going to be it's not going to be hidden, right? People will see all those processes before you now arrive at your dashboard creation that you've been able to do, and people tend to appreciate it better, and you will see how it works. If it is SQL also, same thing happens to it, all right? If it is Power BI, same things happens to it. They will see all those processes, and Python also is the easiest, right? So they will see all those processes. Another reason why we need to use GitHub. First, we said it is popular, right? Maybe should I be writing it down? Hello, are you with me?
Yeah,
Should I write them? One, we said it
yeah,
is popular. Second, we said it's popular and it's being used being used by employers, and recruiters. Right. Second of all, we say it is transparent, right? Why GitHub, right? So we said first one, that's the first point. The second point, we said it is transparent. It's transparent. And why is it transparent? We can easily see the workflow. You can see the workflow. Just the way I explained earlier. Then the third of all is it is a version control element. It's a version control, which means you can track changes. It's a version control. Version control. So what do you mean by version control? In the IT world, especially guys doing running software development and the likes, right? We can easily change things. We can easily track changes, right? For example, you uploaded your Excel file initially and you commit, we could use commit to upload on the internet, right? You commit your Excel file, your initial Excel file on GitHub account, and later you had some changes to be done to it, right? So once you upload the second one, the original one was the one you uploaded earlier. You now had a change, maybe your team lead called or your stakeholder, the major stakeholder called you and you have to change something from what you've done. So once you change it, you have to commit it again, right? So once you commit it, so you have like two commits already on a particular repository. So if there are issues where you want to go back to the initial version, GitHub can help you do that easily, right? So that is why it is called a version control. So we can easily track changes. So that's the meaning. You can track changes, right? And of course, show improvements over time. So basically, this also works with this particular principle called agile method of solving project. That's the agile method of agile method of managing projects, right? So where we have our work splitted into WBS, that's work split into WBS, right? Where we have time frame for everything that we have. So we can have work splitted into different sprints, and every sprint we carry each activities. For example, you want to analyze a particular project, and that project will take about 3 months to be done, right? So we can easily now break those things into 3 months, right? So we have first sprint, second sprint, and third sprint, right? So first sprint, we need to like, okay, our first sprint, we must make sure that over 1 million data set that we have, over 1 million data we have in a data set that we have must be cleaned, right? So maybe perhaps you've got like 1.5 million data in a particular data set, and we must make sure it is cleaned in the next 1 month. That is a goal. That goal set is called a sprint, right? So once we are done with this, we can also upload it on it. So we have a team lead. So because we can't just work on it, everybody can just go and be working on different aspects of the column. So we can say you work on column 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The other person will work on column 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That person will work on column 7, 8, 9, 10 in terms of cleaning and making, because you already understand how to clean. If you have missing data, what are those things we need to do? When do we need to use main? When are we using median? When do we use mode? All these things are very, very important. And I think we're able to trash all these things during the course of the class, right? When we're doing the real course itself. So these are things that everybody will have to like do individually. So once you are done, you are done with your part. You have to upload it, commit it to the GitHub. So we have a branch where you will create, everybody have a branch where they will be working on. So your branch, you are going to upload your branch to your GitHub. So we have a team lead that oversees everybody's work, right? So once you commit your own branch, he sees it and he can as well add it to the main branch, right? When another person commits his own branch, he can as well add it to the main branch. So everybody, before you know it, everybody's work will be merged together, right? And we have a clean data set. So at the end of the 1 month. Right, so version control also helps us to track changes and it shows improvement over time. So the last but not the least, why we opted for GitHub is collaboration, teamwork. Right, so for collaboration, it allows us to work uh, with teams, right? It allows us to work with teams, and I think during the course of this course also, we are able to work uh, in teams, right? We were able to work in teams, and I'm sure we really enjoy that part where we have to work together, argue together, argument in terms of for learning's sake, right? Trying as much as possible to understand better and why we need to go in a particular direction, in order for us to have a data with high integrity, right? A data with high integrity. What do I mean by integrity? It means it is clean and decision we are making from that particular data set, we are going to be rest assured that the decision we are making is going to be real, it's going to be for the good of the company, and if it's going to be for profit purposes, we hope that, of course, the data set is going to also yield profit at the end of the day. So it's also very, very important. So these are the four major reasons why we are opting for GitHub, and uh, and that is basically those are the things that I think is also very important for us to do. Another thing which I think is also very important where people do really miss, right, is talking about what do people look for on your GitHub account? What are those things that they look up for in your GitHub account? Which I'm going to show you. I have got two different GitHub accounts, right? So these ones I'm going to show you, you are going to use this for perhaps maybe creation and the like. So the other one that I use, which is a personal GitHub account, I'm going to show you and show you how it works. But of course, let me tell you what people really want to look for in your GitHub account, right? So the first thing is people want to look at your profile presentation. They want to look at your profile presentation. What do they look for? What people look for? What people look for in your account, right? So the first thing is what? Your presentation, your profile presentation. Very important. right? So what do we look? So which means in your profile presentation, your bio is key. Your bio talks about your biography, but not how would I put it now? It's not a complete scenario about you, but it's talking about what is your skill set when it comes to the tech world, your niche that you're trying to talk about. So this time around, we're talking about data analysis, right? So what is your biography when it comes to data analysis, right? So we don't normally, I will always advise that when you are talking, you don't talk like you can do this, you can do that. Always present yourself as a consultant, right? Let them see you as an authority in the field, right? So basically, you can help. So you can just start with I help I help people, um, SMEs, companies to realize or achieve their goals with data. All right. Or I help analyze or make company um get more profit based on her analysis. So it's always very important for us to start with something like this so we can now develop it. All right. So we can develop something like this in this area, but not just about telling people I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, or talk about your skill set in terms of we just see people writing Python, right? SQL, right? Power BI, write this, write that, you know. So it is very good to make sure your bio has something of such. So this is trying to tell people that you are result oriented. You know what you're trying to do. So this attracts people more to your bio compared to what you would have, right? Very important also. So um so people also want to check about your project. So what are the projects that you've done? So you have different repositories, very, very important. You have different repositories on that. So you will create different repositories. So for every project you have, you always create a repository for a project. For example, I think in our class we did one, two, three. I think one, two, three for Excel, then four for Python. I think we did four or even five because we did like two projects in Python, one for scraping, right? Data scraping, and the other one for the normal data sets that we use in creating or using Python to analyze our data sets. So we can see we've got like five different projects. And if I'm going to upload all those, it means we are going to have different repositories. So I'm going to have like five repository on my GitHub account already, right? I'm going to have like five repositories on my GitHub account. So I think it's also very important for us to know that. And people want to evaluate your storytelling. Yes, I think it's important. And I think it's always very good for us to also inculcate or imbibe that storytelling skills is very, very important. So I think we should imbibe that and see how best we can get it done. So I think with all this, we can now start setting up GitHub accounts and see how it works. I'm sure you're also here, Abby. So can I clean up what I have here? Are you with me? So, the next is going to be very easy and straightforward. It's going to be very easy and straightforward, right? So, we'll just come here to do sign up if you don't have an account before. So, we will sign up. I already have an account here. So, you can just do normal sign up where you can continue with your Google Mail, then, or you put your email address. You have your username that you can change. So, your email address can be, I think I have your email address sometimes back. I'm just using this ikma@gmail.com. So you can have a password, any password you feel like having, put in there. And yeah, your email address, your username can now be, let's check if ICMA, I'm sure ICMA will have been used. They will have, yeah, is available. Wow. We only contain this, da, 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 da. Cannot begin with this and this and this and this. So if it's available, you can use this. And one thing about your username should be short. It should not be long. Can you hear me? Your username should be short, right? So try as much as possible to make it short as possible. Mine is simple. You can even add it with your name. You can even add it, when we're doing, I think we did LinkedIn together. We did LinkedIn optimization together, right? I remember we did LinkedIn optimization together. So, you remember the username you used when we were trying to optimize and change the URL. So we can also use that also. Mine is simple. Mine is just this Awele call. Yeah. No. Yeah. This is my own username. All right. So you can see very straightforward, no issue, nothing, straightforward. So you can use easy username. I think it's always very, make sure your username is short. That will also help you when people or when recruiters want to really look for you on the internet, right? So let's go to signing in. So this is me. So I can just sign in here. Uh, never. Aha. So once you been able to register, right? This is what you're going to have. This is what you are going to have, right? So, and this is how it works. Except if I'm going to change my own um thing. So maybe I use another browser. Uh, maybe I use another browser to change it. So we have like two different browsers where I can just switch to. So this is another one. So once you have registered, this is what you have, right? And let's go straight to our profile itself. So there are different ways of going straight to your profile. You can come to this particular area, right? And click on it, right? Or go to the other area and click on whatever thing you think is important. Is important, I think. Very key. So, this is for Nakelgreen. The other one I showed you is that's my personal one, right? So, we hardly have two big ones here. So, if I'm going to check my profile, so you can see your profile. So just click on this, your profile, and you can see, I think it's empty. Yeah, intentionally. So from here, you'll see the total number of repository that we have here already. It is 3 that we've got. So the first thing is edit profile. So the profile here is just to have your name that you want to put. So our name is going to be Nakelgreen, right? I'm sure you are with me. Are you with me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So our bio, like I said, our bio should not just contain what we do. Some people will just put, like I've seen everybody, they'll just say Python, do this, Django, do this, SQL, do this, just to tell people about your skill set. But I said, no, what you need to do here, if you don't even know how to craft your word, you can go to Google, right? And perhaps craft something. And I think Copilot will help us rephrase it. You can just say, write, I just say, write about Nakelgreen, an edutech company, all right, or GitHub. So your own will be you are a data analyst, edutech company, edutech company, uh, specializes on data analysis, web development. I'm just giving you all this just for you to know that there are things you can do: web development, data analysis, cyber security, and likes. So let's see what Copilot will give us. Okay, Copilot is not giving me. Okay, let me just use on Copilot. It should. Ah, okay. So I can as well come back to my Copilot here. I think I have Copilot here. So I'm trying to make things easier for us. I'm sure you can see my screen. I just do Copilot. I think I have the app here. So I'm sure you'll see it when it's launched. Aha. Saying good morning myself. So you can also launch your own Copilot. Type whatever thing you want to type, and you can limit it to say depending on what characters they would like, maybe in 400 characters. In 400 characters. Let's check it out. Let's check what this will give me. You can see empowering man through tech, Nakelgreen is an educated company, driving innovation, blah, 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 blah. So I don't need to think too much. All right. So let's go back to what I really want to do. Yeah. So I can paste it here if it's not many. So I think everything. I think that's cool. Pronouns. Yeah. So let's do E and in. So company name, Nakelgreen Limited. Location, it's gonna be Lagos, right? Then HTTPS, Nakelgreen, let's go NG. Then yeah, we have our Twitter accounts, LinkedIn account. You have a LinkedIn account, so LinkedIn account would be. You can also be doing yours. Are you doing your own? I'm just using this just for you to set up your profile. So I'm going to do linkedin.com, right? Slash. So I want to confirm the Nakelgreen itself. So I can come back here. Oh, so what is it showing now? Um, uh, so I'm sure you can see my screen right now. Okay, so I can come here and do LinkedIn because I want to confirm the link for Nakelgreen. I created it as a company already, so I can come here. I think it's here. Okay, this is it. Yeah, so this is it. So I want to know the link I'm going to type for me to be able to get it correctly. All right, for me to be able to get it correctly it's very key for me. So these are things that I believe we can easily get ourselves, right? So I'm looking for the link. Okay. I think let me just try and copy this straight up, just the way it is. It's a company, so it's not a personal thing that I can just use the normal link to go through it. So once I'm done with this, I can go back to Nakel. Yeah, so I can place it. So maybe we should try this out. Yeah, we can try this out. Confirm the link if the link is working. Okay, you can see the link is working. Can you see the link is working now? So I think we are good to go. So this one can be any other ones that you have, so we can save. So with this saving, we can see that we've been able to show ourselves more about I've been able to build my profile. Like I said, building profile is very, very important. That's the first thing we need to also put into place. Can you hear me? That's the first thing we need to also put
Yeah.
into place. We've been able to do our profile. So your profile picture is also very key. So here, we can say we want to change this profile picture to something else, right? Very important. So we've been able to do that. We've done our about, then we have our project. Then there is a particular place where we can also pin our project. So let's come back here. Uh, your profile. Can you see? We have profiles here. So there's a particular place we can pin our project, which we don't have more projects here. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the other places with my other account, right? So you can just come here and customize your pin. This is it here, right? And like I said, we've been able to do every other thing that I think is very important. And for you, what you can also write can be you're a data analyst that is skilled in all these activities. So maybe I can type this. I can just type something and put it and give it to you so you can use it from your end for your end. And like I said, what you will do is all about, it's not just trying to tell people about your skill sets. You are trying to tell them a story about how you can go about doing it. So let me quickly, I think we've spoken today. Where is it? 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 Okay. So, so those are things that I think we can also do to make sure things get better for everyone. All right. So I'm trying to send you what I think you can also craft for your hand. What I think you can also craft for your hand. I don't know. Okay, so I think we are done. Are we on the same page now? Are you also
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense, makes sense. I'm trying to send you uh, that thing I think we can use, right? Um, okay, so I haven't said all those and I haven't done everything that um yeah, I think I've sent it here. Mhm. Sorry, I just felt you can also relate with that, and it resonates with me very well, and that's the main reason why we have to do this. So one thing about it is once we are done with all this I've shown you, right? We can easily be saying people can always come and check you out, and once you have a very good project, so that will now push me to the other side of the show, which is my own. So with my own, is it? Okay. Yeah. So with my own, no, GitHub. Okay, so with my own thing, so I think we can also be come around and see how best we have mine done. So let me click on this, right? So we can see all these things are there completely, right? I have two followers, eight following, blah blah blah. But what I'm after is, in the other one we have like three reciprocity. Here we have 45 reciprocity, right? And it's always very good to also have one, put your best project out here. I'm sure you can see my screen. Let me make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you put your best project out there. Out of all the 45 I've got, to you, if you go back, if you go and check my name, you can see github.com/awelika. Make it short as you can. Make it short as you can, right? So, trying to disable this cat. Aha. So put your best project out here. So how do you now put it? You can come here and do customize your pin. So these are all the projects I've done, ranging from data analysis to writing blog news app using Django to doing web scraping using Python to writing C++ program, right? When I was doing ALX high level programming in those days, to doing a complete invoice management system, right? So these are projects. And apart from that, I was able to do Airbnb clone. I was able to do so many projects, blog, calculator, data analysis with Python. You can see so many projects. I've done so many projects, POS, school ERP, to do app, all these particular projects are very, very important, of course. So you can see all these projects I've done. Then I was able to pick up like six that people can easily see from and once they check my profile out, right? These are the two pictures of me. Oh. This was so uh maybe we're going to change that. Right. So, so that is that as regards talking about your profile itself and the like. So it's important for us to do that. So those are the things because these are things that people would like to see, and it's important for us to make sure everything works better. Like I said, branding is very, very key, right? Branding is very, very key. And I think we can also do that and making sure that things get better. I think that's all. So,
Okay.
do you have any questions so far before we now start doing how do we now structure or create a reciprocity? Any question?
No, actually.
Okay. So, I haven't said all this, right? So the next thing for us now is now how do we now create a reciprocity? How do we now create a portfolio account where people can have access to our project, right? That now takes us to structuring our reciprocity. So reciprocity basically is how will I put it now? Is like a file that you have on your GitHub account. So for every file, for every project you have, you create a new reciprocity for it. All right, a reciprocity in such a way that you can easily retrieve it anytime, any day. So it means that you have a project on the internet where people can even go and check you out even before without trying to seek your consent once it is public. Once you've published it and you make it public, yeah, people can easily check it without your consent. You will see mine. If you check mine from your end, if you check my account from your end, my reciprocity will now be up to 45. Have you checked it?
Yes.
How many? How many is it?
Mm.
Huh? What did you say? What did you say?
Hello?
Can you hear me? I said
Yes, I can.
if you check my account from your hand, the total number of reciprocity that you will see is not going to be 45. If you check it from your hand. It's 45 because I'm the owner of the account and these are all the things I've created. But it is not all the 45 I made public. There are some that are private that if you can't get it and you won't see it. Even if you have the link to it, it will always show you a 404. Right? So, but that is not the case. That is not the case. So I'm just trying to tell you how it works. So there are different things. So you can just click on this reciprocity. So once you click on the reciprocity, it shows you all the reciprocities that you've got, all the projects. It's just like reciprocity is just talking about your project, all the projects that we've done. That is what it's going to show you. That is personally yourself. You can see this health is private, right? Campus mate platform is it's private. School clubs, this one is also private. I'm not trying to show you that they are public. Those are the ones you will see, right? But of course, there are some private ones also that I've got in this particular project. Right? So how do we now do that? There are different ways to do it. So majorly as a data analyst, if you are using some code editor to write your work, for example, if you are using VS Code to write Python, this is VS Code here. I think if I launch it, you should be able to see it. Yeah. If you're using VS Code, this is VS Code. This is how it works. This is a project I'm working on. Right, so that is why you can see everything black, blah, 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 and the like. So, but of course, if we have a project that our Python, we are used to using Jupyter Notebook to write our Python, right? But we can also use VS Code to write our Python too. In terms of, and it should give us that Jupyter Notebook vibes too, right? And we have another one called PyCharm. This is it here. PyCharm is mainly built for Python, anything Python. So we can use it to write so many things, right? This is another node. It's also code editor, right? It's also, we are using it to also write code, just like the way we use Jupyter Notebook to writing our Python code. Those are different ones. So all these ones, if you are using these ones, they can be linked directly to your GitHub account. So this is directly linked to my GitHub account generally. So once I finish writing my code, I can easily commit and upload to my GitHub account directly from here, even without going to the browser. Do you understand? Even without going
Yes.
to the browser, I can easily do that. But for now, so I'm going to teach you how to do that from the browser, how to upload from the browser. So basically, we have a project, an Excel project that we've been able to do. We've been able to finish. So let me check. Let me quickly check if we have that already here. Yeah. So if you have any project that we've been able to finish, so I think we're able to finish a particular project sometimes back. So I think I think we did one project ourselves, global tech that you guys did. I remember that you did that, you submitted. So we can upload that together. I think that was a particular, you did global tech together, right? Was it global tech that we did in
Yes.
class? Or
Yes.
you did unclaimed patients, this patients, blah, 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 blah. This patient on Unko, you guys did it.
The
Hello?
patient. Yes, we did that.
Yeah, you did global tech too, and we did patient. So
Yes.
imagine we want to upload either of the two. They are different projects, right? There are different projects that we've been able to do. So it's going to be different repository that we are going to upload. But of course, mind you, what you are going to upload is going to be what? The corrected or the finished one, the finished project, the finished product. So the first thing we are going to do is what? To create a new repository. So there are different ways of creating new repository. So we can come here, click new, it will do the same thing. We can come here, right? Your repository, we get the same thing. We can now come here again, right? We can come here and click. Once you click, we have messages that is popping up here, right? However, uh, this is what I want us to do. Just come here, click your repository. Then from there, you get to new. There should be a shortcut to creating a new repository. So this is it. So the first thing first is going to name it. We are going to name it. So which one are we uploading? We're going to upload it's going to be in the oil sector. I think the first one, the global tech is in oil sector. Abi?
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is in the oil sector, right? So we're going to do a global tech or oil sector project. We can just say, we can name it oil sector project analysis. I name it oil sector analysis. Generally, you can just name it oil sector analysis. Even without, you can even give space. Oil sector analysis. Right? That's the name. So what's the description? You can describe it. You already know what you did during the project. What did we do? We're able to understand, know the profits, capital, or when they have a profit. Well, we want to know how they are making profit. Are they making profit or loss? At the end of a particular year, comparing the amount of or the amounts they sell oil to OPEC compared to the amount they sell to some people. And of course, we want to know the amount they spend on liability, right? And the amount they spend on assets in order for them to check if they are making profit or not. You remember? Those are the things you were able to do. Yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to check all those things, compare OPEC to other international body, try and know the amount they are spending on liability, talking about machines, talking about cars, talking about repairs, and to also compare that to the amount they spent on assets, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Aha, so those are things that you have to describe it, right? So if you don't know the full description of what you want to do, go back to your co-pilot. Where's our co-pilot? Your co-pilot is your friend. You don't need to go anywhere. Type a prompt that will give you that description, right? And just come here, gives you a very good help. So all these things gives an insight of why do we really need to do our description. It is important because you want to preempt what people want to see. If employer comes here to your page, they already understand what kind of project they want to see, right? So here your description is talking about the problem, right? You should talk about the problem and what you were able to get. Shikina, just analysis of the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. Do you understand? Oil and gas sector in Nigeria using Excel, hmm? Power Query Editor, pivot table to solve it. Shikina. So analysis. You can say oil sector analysis in Nigeria. Let's just put it that way, all right? Using what? Excel, MX Excel, Power Query, and pivot table. Pivot table, think then pivot chart. Chicken. Aha, so we've been able to do that, right? So the next is what? Configuration. So this configuration is very key. So we want to choose visibility. We want to choose how do you want people to see it? Do you want anybody to see? Once they have the link, do you want them to see it? Or you may want to make it private. So all those public private that you see, this is where you will decide if it's going to work or not, right? If you're going to use it or not. So the next one here is talking about start with a template. Do you want to start with a template file? Right. So for example, if you are working with Python, you have a template for Python. If you are working with any other template that you have in your project, you have it. You can just click on any of this, then it will really give you a base of whatever thing you're trying to do, right? Pre-configured on your repository files, right? So then, yeah, this is very key. Hard me. So this this README file gives a full description of your project. You know what you did there is just like a summary of what you did, what you want to do. So this gives a full description of your project. So which means you want to tell them the goals and objective. You want to tell them what are some abbreviations that you use during your project. What do they really mean? in terms of I have ADH. What does ADH mean? I think we did something cap, no cap, right? We did something about cap that you were trying to Google the meaning of that particular thing. You remember? All those things you wouldn't want people to also go and Google. You will have to, you've done that for them. You have to tell them the meaning. So here, README is just trying to pull up a charter, a project charter of this particular work. Project charter, the only thing that would to not contain it's not going to contain time, it's not going to contain money, but it will contain the problem statement to contain what you intend to achieve from the project, and it will to contain the full description of individual columns that you've got, right? And it will also contain maybe perhaps what we intend to achieve from that particular product. Then what another thing that the full description might give what the story, right? Have a background story of your dashboard, trying to tell them who at the end of the day we're able to discover that um, only private sector in the oil and gas sector, the private entity in the oil and gas sector can only make profit, right? Compared to what is happening in the public oil and gas sector. Public oil and gas sector, we're talking about NNPC. Before they sold NNPC, NNPC is now a limited liability company in Nigeria, which means they now have an investor, they've got chairman, Of course, Nigeria still has a stake in it. Before they did that, NNPC has been recording loss for over 10 years. So every year they always record loss. And Nigeria is the one exporting crude oil, right? They always record loss upon loss, which means there's a leakage somewhere where they need to block. And guys in the private sector are making profit. This in the same Nigeria. So these are things that your analysis might want to expose, and you might want to tell them and give recommendation as regards that. So your full description is going to happen there. So we are going to switch it on. All right, so once you switch it on, so you have a place where you can write your readme file. It's going to be there, right? So you just add those things. So here is add ignore. The git ignore here is if you are working with guys writing code, right? Python, JavaScript, HTML, React, Node, and the like. So there are some files that comes with all those things that you will use on your local machine in order to run your code, right? In order to run your file very well. But it is not advisable to upload those things back to your GitHub, right? That is where the git ignore comes into play. So if you want to upload directly from your browser that I showed you earlier, you'll see even here I should have a .git ignore. It's going to be here if you check very well. Yeah, this is here. It will tell me everything that I don't want to upload back on the. If I click on it, anything that you see here, these are things that is not going to go back to my GitHub account. So will not go back to my GitHub account. It's not going to go to my GitHub account at all, right? So I think it's important. So your git ignore is just to remove those things that you use in your local host, that if you upload them, it's going to get more space at the same time. So what it means is generally, if you upload it to the internet, it's not going to follow all those things that is close to 1 gig, 2 gig will not follow it, right? So once you download it back, before you can use it on your machine, you have to download those things. That is the way you can download those things back naturally on your machine. So your machine will see it, local machine. So if you are taking it back there, it will ignore those things that you downloaded before it can run, right? So it makes more sense. It makes your work lighter. It makes people want to read and download your work, and of course work with it better. And these are things that make sense. So hiding license explains how other can use your code, right? So this is just trying to add a license to it. Okay, oh, this is my code. Oh, there are some certain things you can't use. Oh, you have to pay me $5. It is free. Oh, you can also do contribution. Like what I mean by contribution is not paying money. You can also add your own words. So I've done here. I stopped here. So anybody can also pick it up and continue from here. So you can also write it in that license. Like, okay, it is free, it's an open source, and I want people to also look at it and also see where we can easily improve this particular work from stage one to stage two. This is where you can get all this. So once all those things are done, you understand how all these things work. So you can just come here and click create repository. Are you together?
Yes.
Aha, makes sense. So, yeah, so once we are done with this, you will see that we now have my README file. You can see the first file we have here is README, readme.md. That's the initial commit, right? Very, very simple. So here we can now edit the README if you want to write. Like I said, README is going to be a very comprehensive work, right, about your project. It's a very comprehensive work about your project that you need to put up in your file in this particular, so people can read it, understand what you're trying to do, and the like. So how do we now add our project to it? So it's always very important to also have a structure, you know, have a structure as to what you really want to do. So we can create a folder, right, that will show raw data. So maybe you want people to also learn from example. For example, myself, I want people to learn from my GitHub repository. I can have create a first folder called a raw data, right? So you can see hard file. So instead of adding a file, I can say we can just create, we can upload a file, right? Instead of adding a file, we can also upload what? A file. And that file can also be inside a folder. So we can create that particular folder from our end. So there are different ways of doing it. So basically, if I'm going to just upload the Excel file that is rich, that is done, like done work, right? A done work. So what I'm just going to do is just come, click upload file. Can you see? Upload file. So we have a drag and drop. So here I can just choose the file. I will just go to my thing and choose the file I want to use. Come here, then click on any of these that you want to upload. So let me just click on this that I want to upload. Assuming what I'm uploading is the right thing. So you can see uploading one file. Hello, can you hear me? Trying to upload my files right now. Right. So I'm sure you two must have been able to upload. Have you done yours? Is yours done? Hello.
No, I'm not doing it. I'll do it after that. I'm just looking at what you're doing now.
Okay. So once this is done, so once it's finished,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. So once this is finished uploading, so
Hello?
once it's finished uploading, so what we just do is just come here and do commit change, right? So add a file upload, right? Then we can just discuss, you can just add whatever thing you want to write there, right? You can just say initial first commit. I can just say first commit, all right? So if you have any other description you want to put there, you can also put it there, like um oil and gas sector initial commit, right? So here it's trying to, like, are we committing directly to the main branch, or you are committing to a branch, to a main master branch or a new branch? So like I said, so if we are working as a team, so once we are done with that. So you can see automatically once I just click on OK commit, you will see it. Yeah. Right? Can you see? The file is already in my. So if anybody comes to this particular, if I send you this code now, I'm going to send you this code in the chat box. so you can log on to it. So once you log on to this message, you can see the chat box. Hello, can you check the chat box, please? Can you check the chat box, please?
Yes, I'll check now.
Okay, if you check the chat box, you'll see you have this particular file there already standing gidigba,
Yes,
right?
yes, I see.
So which means you can work on it. You can see, you can download, you can work, you can do so many things with it, right? So the question now is going to be, okay, now imagine we now have like two or more people working on this particular project. So immediately we can easily create a branch. That is what the guy is talking about, right? So creating a branch is a way of giving other people to contribute to that particular. So contribution in terms of working as a team, trying to make sure we have a good working environment where you can have your own way of working on the same project, right? And it won't tamper with the original project. So what version control also means also is, for example, we can have we can say we want to like improve on our app, maybe web app or any other thing that we're trying to do. And the web app is live already, right? So, and people are working on the project, blah 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 blah. Some people initially, once you are working on that particular project, you have to pull that particular work down. But now we don't do it again. So we continue with the version that we are trying to work with to push it outside, and we are working on the revamp one inside. So once everything is done, we've tested it, and we are sure that it is working. So that is when we can now just upgrade the folder we have in our GitHub account. Do you understand? So once you do push to the main branch, right, to the main branch or the master branch, that is when it will be affected on every other people's phone. But if you don't do that, right, and it's still in the branch side, of course, you are still working on it. Nothing will happen. Nothing happens to it, but you are working from back end to see whatever thing you're trying to do. And those are things that I think is very, very important for us to do. Ish. So having said all those, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. So having said all those, I think it's also very important for us to now know, okay, what are those things we need to do in the README file, right? So I think we're going to continue from that aspect in next class. Do you have any question? Because that will also take some minute to explain deeply, because I'm trying to make sure I explain deeply for you to understand and to be able to work with it very well. So any questions so far?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay. In view of no other question, I think we can just call it a day, and we meet in next class.
Okay, all right, thank you.